If you ever thought about bringing your dream Latina girlfriend to North America, you're probably picturing romantic dinners, passionate nights, and endless love. But what if I told you that one single decision could cost you everything? Your money, your freedom, even your life. Here's a twist. The danger is not coming from the cartels or kidnappers. It's waiting for you at home, smiling sweetly, holding your hand through customs. Women can be fucking ruthless. You have no idea how brutal they can really get. That's exactly why you need to watch this video, because I'm gonna break down why you should never bring a Latina to North America. This might just be the biggest piece of advice you'll ever get about dating. Trust me, not even your father is gonna drop knowledge like this. See, I'm not sexist and I'm not an incel. I'm just a guy who's seen dozens of men get ruined because of one stupid decision, and I want you to avoid it. The number one mistake that could ruin your life. So here's the deal. If you want to bring your hot Latina wife here, I mean, listen, that's totally fine. North America is a great place to live, to raise a family, and most Latina women are not only hardworking, but they're also deeply family oriented. If you plan to bring some new chick you met on a trip to Medellin, Colombia, or whatever, you better think twice. I made a whole video about why passport bros get scammed, robbed, and in the worst case, guess what? They get murdered. The video is right here. You might want to watch it. What I mainly want to teach you here is how to avoid getting into trouble just because you can't stop thinking with your little head. Hey, I get it, man. I'm a guy too. So if you want to take a chance, go to Latin America and have some fun, hey, that's up to you. However, if you do that, you might face two big problems that could ruin your life. The first problem is, of course, getting kidnapped. Many of these escorts actually work with cartels to lure North Americans and rob them. You might think that you're a genius, right? For flying into some low-income country to hook up with some hot chick. But the reality is that girl is playing 4D chess. She knows what you want, and she can use that to manipulate you. Let me prove it to you in 5 seconds. If a Playboy model invited you home, would you follow her? I'm pretty sure all of you would. However, the moment you stepped a foot inside her house, you might never return. That chick could drug you or sell you for way more money than you're willing to pay. I've heard of guys who literally woke up with no organs. And I don't think you want to end up like them. So yet, believe it or not, this isn't the worst case scenario, because there's problem number 2. You might ruin your life forever. In my opinion, the worst case scenario is getting into a relationship with one of these 304s. These women know you're a gringo. They'll convince you to take them to your place. So the moment you take one of these ladies to North America, your life is basically over. She's gonna use every excuse to break up with you as soon after she gets her citizenship. And by the way, guys, for you ladies out there, guys do this too. I've heard of ladies going to Cuba, Dominican, fall in love with some guy that works at a resort. They bring him over to Canada. The moment the guy gets his papers, he's gone. So if you ladies want me to make a video about that, leave a comment and let me know. Now, for the guys, if you're lucky, that's the end of your problems. But if you're not, you might wake up and find dozens of people in your home. Think about how crazy it would be if that chick that you invited, all her brothers, cousins, they're also looking for a place to escape Latin America as well. You might think you're too smart for this to happen to you, right? But I've seen lawyers, doctors, and high-value professionals make the same mistake over and over and over again. And here's the thing. I'm not saying all Latina girls are evil. In fact, they're amazing. But those that are evil can actually destroy you. They'll have a kid with you just to secure the bag. Then they'll rip you off your hard-earned money, and you won't be able to do shit about it, especially in Canada. See, we North Americans make way more money than people in Latin America. So we are actually targets for them. And don't get me started on the family courts in North America, because they're not on your side. If she takes you to court for child support, alimony, or some bogus domestic abuse claim, guess what? You're not fucking winning. Of course, you can face the same situation by marrying a North American woman, but the point I'm trying to make here is that some woman will pretend to love you to escape poverty. They're operating out of survival. And look, I'm sure the same thing happens in other poor countries from Eastern Europe, Asia, or Africa. So I'm not trying to discriminate against anyone, especially my own people. I'm just sharing the reality. If you don't like it, you can just close your eyes and scream all you want. I don't really give a fuck, because as long as I can save one of you, this video will be worth all the hate that I get. I want to show you exactly why some guys still fall for this old trick. You might be thinking, nah, my girl's different, but you can tell until it's too late. They're all starting acting out like angels, sweet, innocent, cooking for you, treating you like a king for a little while. It feels amazing, but the moment she gets that visa, that green card, the mask comes off. Many of these women grow up struggling, so when they get a chance to secure a future, they'll do whatever it takes to make it happen, even if that means lying to you. These women are hungry, and I don't blame them. If you were born in a poor country with no future, wouldn't you do the same? However, that's exactly why you have to be smart, because at the end of the day, the person who's gonna lose the most is you. The smart way to date Latinas. Now, let's say you really want a Latina, big Buddha Latina, right? You love the culture, the looks, the attitude. Trust me, I'm right there with you. I love them too. I'm from there. I'm Latino myself. But there's a smart way to do it. The first thing you have to do is don't bring her to North America. If you really want to be with her, move down there, get a house down there, and spend a few years with her to see if she's actually with you for you and not just the passport. Second, make sure that she comes from a good family. If her family is full of scammers, thieves, or people who always ask for money, just run, and run fast. The more interested they are in your money, the faster you should move your legs and get the fuck out of there. Whatever you do, always use protection. Don't just take her word for it that she's on the pill. You can't be sure. I heard some crazy stories of girls who accidentally forgot to take the pill to trap their boyfriends. I mean, it's terrifying. So protect yourself at all costs, because the moment the sperm leaves your body, you have no power. Speaking of which, you shouldn't be marrying anybody without a prenup. If you absolutely must bring it here, make sure you're protecting yourself legally. A prenup is not foolproof, but it's better than nothing. You can't go to war without a vest, right? So you must always be prepared for the worst. This society hates men and will always side against them. They just care about women or trans people and hate the rest of us. Never forget that. And by the way, on a side note, I'm actually trying to make a video about this. So if you want to see it, make sure you hit the like button and drop a comment below if this is something that hits home to you, because I want to dive deeper like no other YouTuber has ever done it. Now, watch out for red flags. All right, back to business. You gotta watch out for red flags. For example, if she's always talking about a much better life in Canada, that's a sign that she might be interested in the country and not you. Look, I'm not saying she can't appreciate your country. After all, that's why a lot of us end up in North America. But if that's the only thing that she's focused on, that's a big red flag, because she might just see you as just a stepping stone into the situation. She could forget about you and everything you've done for her when she steps in North American soil. This means the worst thing you could do is let her take control of your finances. The moment that happens, is game over. A lot of guys fall for the let's open a joint account. That's a trap. Don't do it. If all she talks about is money, that's likely that's all she's interested in. Now, I'm not saying you can be transparent about your finances with your wife, especially if you get a strong, solid relationship. But don't be spelling your financials to someone you just met. First, need to figure out she's someone you can actually build a future with. If you work out, stay loyal, and have a stable job or a stable business, you don't need to beg for anyone's love. You're the one who has the most to offer in a relationship. So you should be the one doing the picking, not the other way around. However, if you're still figuring things out in life, you might want to focus on working on yourself instead of looking for a relationship with someone who's halfway across the world. You've got plenty of time to have fun once you've worked on yourself. The more you bring to the table, the easier it's going to be for you to find an amazing partner. Don't rely on a plane ticket to make things happen, or you might end up regretting it. That said, I got a question for you guys. What is the #1 red flag that tells you that a woman cares more about what you have than who you are? I'll be reading you down in the comments. This is Chris. This is Bad Hombres TV. I'll see you next time.